What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Review for Demon Slayer Season 2. This is episode 8, and with me, as always, I have Loosepid.
Wow. I mean, like, does Ufotable just really love to go all out with their animation quality? I think this episode, like, literally tops the whole Akaza versus Rengoku fight in Mugen Train. Because they just really just topped that by, like, almost tenfold in this episode.
Yeah, like, just the way everything moved, everything was just going so fast, and then just everything kind of it made certain scenes like feel almost like three-dimensional with the way the characters are kind of like running towards like one scene in particular with Inosuke and Zenitsu like kind of running towards the Daki. That one just felt really impressive too, where they were like avoiding all of her all the sashes, and also just the fight in general between Tengen and the brother. Just
His name is Gyutaro.
Yeah. God, just that whole, like, I mean, pretty much it was a majority of the episode too, or at least the remainder of the episode with the.
Well, the first half of the episode was just basically Tengen and Gyutaro trading barbs at each other, with Gyutaro bragging that he reveals like his sickles contain a poison that will kill Tengen, but Tengen reveals that because he's a shinobi, he's trained to resist or to be immune to the poison. But over time, like, you notice like the wound on his forehead, you notice like the poison's starting to get to him a little bit.
Yeah, and also just the way he was breathing. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's like like Yotaro pointed out, just like slowly affecting him.
Yeah, and not only that, but they also trade barbs about each of their own beliefs. With Tengen, he details his backstory a little bit about his time as a shinobi, but of course, Daki points out that a lot of the shinobi have died out during the Edo period, which is true. But Tengen reveals that he's part of a rare near extinct tribe in which like he was born to it along with like 12 other siblings who ended up getting killed in their own missions, and the only ones left are just Tengen and his brother. However, like his brother is more of a more traditionalist who followed their father's teachings about sacrificing other people for the sake of their mission. But of course, Tengen doesn't follow through with that, and his decisions led him to keep his 3 remaining wives saved and lead him to be recruited into the Demon Slayer Corps. And then we also see like a little flashback scene of the headmaster of the Demon Slayer Corps, who's not blinded yet at this point, but we can clearly see like whatever illness or whatever that thing he's inflicted with is coming, chewing up his the upper half of his face.
Yeah, he still has those scars.
Or whatever illness he's inflicted with, we just don't know what it is. Maybe it's something like maybe during an encounter with a demon or something, but we just don't know the history of that guy all that much. But yeah, so eventually Tanjiro of course takes Nezuko back to her box, and then of course decides to take her with her, and then Zenitsu and Inosuke finally arrive to face off against the 2 remaining demons, and this leads to like 2 separate fights between the group with Inosuke and Zenitsu fighting off against Daki, and Tanjiro and Tengen going up against Gyutaro. And this pretty much, like I said, just leads into like one like well animated like action sequence between the 2 groups. I mean, let's just talk about how like the camera just rotates, and then the animation just follows through like almost flawlessly.
Yeah, like the camera techniques they used actually remind me a little bit of what they did in episode 19, like with Tanjiro going after I forget what that guy's name was, but the spider demon. It's kind of like what they did here with Inosuke and Zenitsu running up to Daki and avoiding those sashes. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that. And then of course the camera is almost also constantly moving around when they're they're fighting. I keep forgetting his name, but the brother too. Like just everything they did there, and then just the way everything moved so fast. It was just really impressive to watch. Just the two of them fighting, and then of course Tanjiro does try to fight as well, but he's more occupied with, I guess, defending himself the whole time.
I think Tanjiro's main focus is to keep Daki from interfering from Tengen fighting off against Gyutaro.
Yeah, because while she's like facing off against Inosuke and Zenitsu, she's still like she's, I guess, trying to sort of like provide support from where she's at with the Obi sashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you noticed like she's also linked with Gyutaro, and she like Gyutaro's like left eye is now a part of like Daki's forehead. So now they're like pretty much like they're linked to each other to the point where they can coordinate each other's attacks in like two different locations.
Yeah, so it kind of gives a good explanation as to why everything starts just moving as fast as it does, both with both fights too, because now Daki can, I guess try to hit them with more of her Obi sashes now that she, I guess, can more easily anticipate their movements with her having like a third eye basically. And I mean, it was just really impressive. Like I think I would agree it looked a little bit better than the Akaza fight from Mugen Train. It just, and also just because it seemed, I don't know, maybe it wasn't longer, but it kind of felt like it was. I mean, maybe it's just because there's more going on. Because with the Akaza fight, it was just Akaza versus Rengoku. But here it's just like there's two separate fights happening at once, and they're both just like really impressive looking in terms of how they're animated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and while this is happening, the district is being evacuated by I think two of Tengen's wives. I think it was like Suma and Makio. Mm-hmm. And then we see the third wife. I think her name is Hinatsuru. Is recovering from her injuries, and then trying to make her way into the battle.
Yeah, which she eventually does near the end of the episode, and it kind of makes me wonder what the other two wives can do, because we see that she has like some kind of a I don't know what the hell this thing is, like some kind of thing that launches kunais.
Yeah, and of course Gyutaro manages to blow some of those kunai knives away, but Tengen, of course, while the kunai are hitting him like all over his body, he manages to slice off Gyutaro's leg, and then one of the kunai ends up hitting Gyutaro in the neck, which prevents him from regenerating at a top rate speed. And he mentions that it's the kunai knives are like laced with something. He said something called wisteria.
Oh, wisteria
poison or something. Yeah. And then shortly afterwards, Tanjiro takes this as an opening to slash at Gyutaro's head, but that's when, of course, the episode just cuts off from there.
Yeah, I also should mention that at certain points in the episode, at one point in the episode in the beginning, basically like Tengen tries to, he pretty much tries to, I guess, emulate Rengoku's personality to an extent, just to, and I think it's when they were like, thinking he was slowing down because he was poisoned, I guess, to sort of boast and say that, he can still, he can still put up a fight. And I get Tanjiro notices that he pretty much is trying to act sort of like Rengoku.
Yeah, Tanjiro does take notice of this, and I do think like Tanjiro is willing to protect Tengen from pretty much falling into the same fate as Rengoku did against Akaza. So he's literally trying to do his best to get himself involved, because the reason why that Rengoku kind of died was Tanjiro not taking the initiative to help out in the first place.
Yeah, because if you remember from the movie, he was kind of just like paralyzed with fear while he was watching Rengoku fighting Asuka. So like, nobody could really do anything.
But now, like, yeah, I mean, despite Tanjiro's injuries, he's still trying to hold his own.
Well, he points out in this episode too that he's also like he's also still shaking with fear, but he still tries to like compose himself. And also the fact that I guess they point out at one point the reason why he's not dropping his sword is because his hand is like, I think his hand is like bandaged and his sword is like tied. His hilt of his sword, or the handle, is tied to his hand or something, so he can't. So he's not like dropping it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, that's how the episode ends. It's just like you.
It does,
like,
it does kind of awkwardly end because it ends in the middle of a fight, and I mean, it's just a big cliffhanger. Like, I mean, I'll be interested to see if I mean, because it literally looked like, Tanjiro's blow was a second away, like almost a millisecond away from landing on Gyotaro's neck. So I'd be interested to see if it actually does land. But I mean, I don't think it's obviously going to be enough to bring him down. Yeah, it almost feels like the remainder of the season is just going to be this fight. And that might be how they ended out in a way. So yeah, I thought this was a great episode though, in terms of the animation. Like they really, like, I mean, this was, I don't know, would you say like this is about on the same level as episode 19 of season 1, or is this like
I think this is like this is definitely a step up from like both episode 19 from season 1 and the Rengoku fight from Mugen Train.
Yeah, it's actually like, surprising how
just for them,
like, I mean, how they Ufotable somehow just manages to outdo themselves at times with the way they animate certain scenes. Like I always feel like this is as high as they can go in terms of their animation quality, and they always just seem to somehow surpass themselves and with certain series.
I mean they more or less did the same thing with Tanjiro's fight against Daki a couple episodes ago, but this one is like literally they have like, I think like 5 different characters fighting in 2 different locations happening at the same time.
Yeah, like I said, I think the most impressive thing about it is the movement, just like how they have all this happening at once.
Yeah, I mean, normally, like with all the other Ufotable stuff, including stuff we saw in Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel, we would normally see just the high quality animation style with just mainly focused on one-on-one fights.
Yeah.
But this is just like you have 2 separate groups of multiple people fighting at the exact same time.
Yeah, it was. I can't say I was expecting that, but yeah, it's definitely impressive. Like I was just pretty much in awe the whole time I was watching this episode and just seeing what they were able to do. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have too much else to say. Like a lot of this episode was mostly just this fight, and I feel like probably the next episode is going to be like that too. Although, like I said, I'm kind of wondering if maybe like Tengen's other wives might show up to help out eventually, because like, and also just I want to see what else is I forget what her name was, but the wife that intervened at the end of the episode, if she has any more tricks up her sleeve, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the kunai laced with the wisteria poison did definitely play a factor into the fight. So we'll have to see, but it definitely just leaves it off in a big way.
I should also mention too, like I still feel like we probably will at some point get the brother or Daki's backstory along with the brother with Gyotaro's backstory, because it seems like they'll probably get. I get the feeling they'll probably go into that at some point. Considering we got a little bit more Tengen's backstory in this one, I was predicting we would get
Daki also kind of hinted at that during her barbs against Zenitsu in Inosuke. She mentions that she and her brother were mistreated or like weren't treated fairly, like during their time living in the entertainment district.
Yeah.
And the people like, yeah, just describing like the overall lifestyle that they had to deal with. I
Yeah,
guess.
'cause she does like briefly talk about how like the women are treated there. So I think, of course, it's relating back to her. So I think we'll probably get, maybe some more about that in the next episode. But yeah, other than that, I don't know if you have anything else to say about it. I don't really have anything else to say.
No, I mean this was a fantastic looking episode, and it's just a shame that it kind of cut off the way that it did. But hopefully we'll see what's gonna happen next in next week's episode.
Yeah. So that all being said, until next Sunday, we will see you all next time.